Hola a todos. This is Gisselle Ramirez, and I'm excited to be part of Humans of Telecom.
Hey everyone, a very warm welcome to Humans of Telecom, the Unplugged podcast. This is your host Anurag Aggarwal. As you all know, this is a platform where we dive into the fast moving world of telecom, uncovering the personal journeys of industry leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. From inspiring successes to moments of humor. These are stories which not only resonate with our experiences, but sometimes also provide us the much needed dose of laughter. And today's guest is a very interesting personality, someone who she herself claims as being a long time listener and a first time caller. She has been a very loyal fan of this podcast, and while she reached out to me over text, but her energy was so strong that I felt compelled to have her on this show. When I actually asked her a little bit about her background, I found out that there is so much to this person. She's a President's Club award winner who built her career across global telecom companies, be it RadioShack, T-Mobile, AT&T, Altice, and the Telecom Company, with deep expertise in technology, information destruction, and security. She's worked through the Americas and Europe, but primarily focused on Brooklyn and the Staten Island areas in the US. But her impact doesn't stop there. She's the co-founder of Bronx Special Kids, an organization dedicated to empowering children with disabilities to achieve independence and success through sustainability, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. She's a passionate advocate for special education reform and workplace accessibility, always driven by a desire to create a more inclusive world. On top of all of that, she's also a proud mom with two amazing kids, an amateur home cook, as she claims, and even finds time to enjoy belly dancing and Caribbean dancing. We are thrilled to dive into her journey, her advocacy work, and her thoughts on the future of telecom and inclusion. So, let's hear it from her directly. Please join me in welcoming Gisselle Ramirez, Sales Executive at Shreddit. Gisselle, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this journey. We'd love to hear more about you. Which part of the world do you belong to? And from where are you joining this podcast today?
Thank you for having me. As I said, I'm a long time listener, first time caller. I was born in a beautiful island in the Caribbean called Dominican Republic. I was raised between Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. And when I was a teenager, I came to the US to go to the university. And I have been here from Bronx, New York since then. And that's what I'm calling today.
Awesome, Gisselle. So, you have some very interesting things to share with us. And let's start by hearing about Giselle's journey. So, you said that you were born in Dominican Republic and today finally you reached Bronx. So, how's that entire journey been for you?
Yes, so I was born in the Dominican Republic. I was raised between Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. And when I was about to go to college, I came to the US to go to college. My journey is started there. Then while I was going to college, I was working in a shoe store, which I hate. And one day when I was on the train, this kid told me that they were hiring people in an electronic store called RadioShack. I love technology since I was a child, and I thought it was like the best opportunity. I applied. I got hired. After that, my telecom journey started. I was selling Vonage and copper line and wireless. After that, I moved around different wireless telecom companies from AT&T to Altice and even fiber and enterprise copper lines and so on and so forth. Into today that I'm in information technology and information destruction and cybersecurity training.
Interesting, Giselle. That's quite a fascinating journey. So, from being in a shoe store to being in the technology space to being in the telecom space to doing something which I have personally heard for the first time, information destruction. I mean, we talk so much about information creation, but you are into something called information destruction. That's very interesting. And something else that got my attention, Radio Shack. I never got an opportunity to see a Radio Shack store, but I'm a big Young Sheldon fan. I don't know how many of the listeners out here know about it, but it's a sitcom which was showing till recently on CBS. And there we see Sheldon being super interested in RadioShack. So I always found that as a very fascinating store. Would have loved to actually visit it sometime. And I think you had the good fortune of actually working there. So kudos to you for that.
Best job ever. I met my best friends there. My journey changed a lot. That was a canon part of my life, I will say.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm sure of that. And within this entire journey, Giselle, is there any specific one or two, some key highlight moments or some moments which were like a turning point in your life? So, is there anything that you'd like to share with us?
Yes. So one of them was when I graduated from college and I started working in a neuroscience lab. I noticed that even though my whole life I wanted to be a scientist, I wanted to work in a lab, my personality didn't match that. I couldn't be in a bio lab. It was boring for me. I'm used to talk to people. I'm a people person. I want to meet people, talk to people, have an interaction and relationship, create relationship. I think that's something that describe myself a lot. Creating relationship. I'm big on meeting new people. Yes, being human, and it's very important to me. So I decide to move that aside and starting my technology and telecom journey. And that's where I am today.
Awesome, Giselle. And now let's shift some gears from the telecom side to the human side. So, let's hear more about Giselle. Giselle, is there anything very interesting or shocking about you which you can share with our listeners today?
I learned how to drive when I was 28 years old, and I bought my first car this year. I I am a New Yorker. I love public transportation. I'm a big advocate for public transportation. So I did not learn how to drive until I was 28 years old.
Well, having visited New York a few times myself, I think the public transportation system, the entire underground train system, I think it is pretty awesome. It's like countries and cities like New York or London, some of these, or even my own hometown, New Delhi. I think the metro rail system and all are quite prevalent. So I can totally understand if you've not got your license till a later point in time. So I wouldn't call this as very shocking, but okay, we'll take that as an answer. And Giselle, what about your interests? What else does Giselle do to recharge herself? What are your passions like?
So I do in my time, I do for hobby. I wouldn't call it a hobby. People wouldn't call it a hobby, but I call it a hobby. I do have an organization that we help children with disability to reach their best potential. So we teach them how to grow in the garden, the public garden, urban garden. You are from a big city, you understand that green area in a big city is very precious and very
Right.
small. So we're trying to advocate for more green area and the Bronx. The Bronx is a very marginalized city here in New York City. And children with disability, I'm a proud mother to autistic children. I wanted to create a space where they feel that they can be the best version of themselves. So we teach them to grow plants and make products with the growing, with the vegetables and fruits after they grow those products to sell it. So we do. I'm a salesperson. I'm a hunter salesperson. I'm a proud hunter salesperson. So I teach them how to create a relationship, how to do customer service, how to do pipeline, to work with CRMs, like all of those business sides, and to become entrepreneurs because 80% of disabled people, they are unemployed, no matter the education. So they can have a PhD and be unemployed. So my project is to be able to teach them that there's opportunity, that if they don't open a door for them to make the door, and to give them independence, to create community, and to create a space that is for them to hopefully one day advocate for other companies to open the door for neurodiversity, for a diversity of brain.
Interesting, Giselle. That was a very fascinating project that you mentioned about. And what do you call it? The Bronx Project. What
Yeah,
exactly is the
it's
name?
Bronx Special Kids.
The Bronx Special Kids. Okay. So I think when we do post this podcast, do share some information about that online. And if people are interested, I'm sure they would like to visit a website or any other link which can give some more details about this initiative. But yes, I must say that that's quite fascinating. That it was a very interesting statistic which you mentioned, that while a lot of such individuals do get the right education, but they still remain unemployed. And I think it's very important to impart those vocational skills and help them in their employment journey. And I think this initiative of yours is a fantastic one. And I do wish you all the very best for this. And I do hope we hear more about this in the coming months and years.
Yes, we just got a grant and I'm working on a cohort. Hopefully it keep growing and growing. I think again, there's a lot of children, autistic children who are very good at technology. However, because of the way our hiring process work, they don't pass the HR. So they have the skills. They just don't have the social skills to be able to get where they need to get it. I don't think it's fair.
Awesome, Giselle. I think you are getting the right support. And I do hope many other listeners also show a lot of active interest once they listen to this podcast. All right. And now let's move to the next section where we play a game, an interesting one, where you have to tell us three statements. Two of them have to be truths, one of them has to be a lie, and I'll try and guess which one of them is a lie. So, do you have three statements for us today?
Yes. The first one is that I am into cosplaying. The second one is that I have been mugged in New York City. And the third one, I have done bungee jumping since I was a child.
Okay. So, being into cosplay, having been mugged in New York City, and having done bungee jumping as a child. Interesting. So, I just feel that you come from a city which is sadly quite well known for mugging. So, I feel that there is a chance that you would have got mugged, and hence I'll say that that is a truth. Sadly so, but yes, I think that that is one of the truths. Cosplaying, okay, that also sounds very interesting. So I'm gonna assume that that's the truth, and if it is so, would love to hear a bit more about how's that experience been. And lastly, bungee jumping. So what I can make out, there was a slight bit of a hesitation. So I'm gonna take a chance and presume that's a lie. So I think the bungee jumping is a lie, and the first two are truths. So have I got it right out here?
No, I never been mugged in New York City. Knock
Ah,
on
thank
wood,
God for
knock on wood. All my years, I've never been mugged in New York City.
Awesome, awesome. And let's hope that track record remains so. So let's hear a bit more about the first and the third statement. So you've been into cosplay. So how's that experience been?
I'm a nerd, so I do dress up from time to time. I do it for children. I do events for children. They call me for charity, and I also do it for fun. There's a lot of events in New York City, like bars and things like that. And people get together, dress up, and we just have fun. It's a way to decompress, and it's a way just to be human. To enjoy other people. There's every age, different cross every class, every gender, everyone is there and they have fun.
Awesome. And which are some of the characters that you have done through cosplay?
I have done Harley Quinn a couple of times. I have done Batgirl. I have done Catwoman. I have done many, 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 many cosplays.
Interesting. And about bungee jumping. So you have done bungee jumping. How was that experience like?
Yeah, so the first time I was about 10 years old, 10, 11. I was a little bit taller for my age at the time. So I look older. And so I went and I was like, I want to jump. And the person was like, okay. They let me do it. My mother was in the area, but she wasn't with me at the time. So she saw when I was falling down. She saw when I was falling down and she fainted. So when I end up like jumping at the end, my aunt came and she was like, "Your mother's at the hospital. She fainted. She saw you jumping, and she got really upset. She was like, "Oh my god, you're gonna kill me! You're gonna give me a heart attack! Oh, why would you do this to me?" And it was the most amazing feeling that I felt. After that, I'm a big fan of jumping, bungee jumping, a roller coaster. I do it with my children. my 7-year-old love extreme roller coaster. We go to fairs and things like that. That's very, my adrenaline went like, woof. That was my introduction to extreme behavior.
That actually reminds me that when I did bungee jumping for the first time, and I did that in South Africa from the world's highest bridge for a bungee jump.
Yeah.
And I remember that I directly sent the video to my family after having done it, because even I was like, I'm not going to tell them before. I'll just send them the video and let them see it.
My mother, like, she even today, she's like, I am surprised you're still alive. I thought you were be gone. Because I went through like a lot. I went to different countries by myself and like, very extreme life for my age. But here we are. I still want to do more. For now, I'm focusing on my domestic life and keep my children alive. But I'm sure in the future, when they older, I will probably resume my craziness.
Awesome, Gisselle. All right. And now we are on to our final section, our sign off section. So we have a signature question for you, Gisselle. What does being human mean to you? What sort of a human being would you want the world to remember you as?
I want to be genuine. I want to be the person that I am. Everyone see a version of yourself depending on who they are. So you meet me and you see one thing, another person will see one thing. However, I want to be me. I want to be me all the time. I want to be me to be imperfect. I want to be human. I want to experience the humanity of others, and I want to experience everything that life brings you. I want to feel, I want to taste, I want to run, I want to do all that makes me human. And the day that I'm gone, I want to make sure I say that I confess that I have lived. I want to live. And I want other people, when they meet me, they and they remember and they will say, oh, that person, it was just her. Like, just being me.
Awesome, Gisselle. I think that's some wonderful thoughts to end this conversation on, wherein you want to be remembered, firstly, to be a genuine person. I think that's in today's day and age so important, to come across from inside and outside as the same person. And most of all, somebody who's lived a life to the fullest. I think, given all the experiences you shared and so much that you're doing, I think you are living up to that statement. And we do wish you all the very best in all your initiatives, in all your future bungee jumps that you do, and whatever else that is in store for you in life. So I wish you all the very best. And I do hope at some point of time we do get to have our paths cross each other as well.
We should.
And whether it's in India or it's in New York or it's in some other part of the world, we do get to catch up.
My dream is to go to Goa and cook and Goa, to get to cook with the papaya leaves and cook in Goa. And that's going to be my next journey. My best friend is from New Delhi also. We about to move in the same building. It's so exciting. So yeah, we probably meet each other. I have to before I die. I have to go to Goa. I have to go to India. I have to go and see an auntie that show her samosas are not better than mine. Yes, definitely. I hope. And again, if you come to New York, please reach out. I want to take you out to show you real New York, not tourist New York. When you get here, you could be like, I really know New York City. I am a local.
Awesome, Gisselle. So I'm going to hold you to that. And I do hope we get to see the streets of New York together in the local manner rather than in the touristic manner. And on that note, thank you so much, Gisselle.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to all our wonderful listeners here, thanks a lot for tuning into the show. We hope this episode gave you a good glimpse of the human side of Gisselle Ramirez, a New Yorker who's a telecom and a technology enthusiast, a cosplayer, a bungee jumper, the creator of such a wonderful initiative called the Bronx Special Kids, a doting mother, and finally a woman with a golden heart who is doing so much for uplifting the people around her. That for us is Gisselle Ramirez. So, if you enjoyed today's episode, do stay tuned in. because we shall soon be releasing yet another episode and another compelling story from the telecom space. And do follow the podcast on your preferred streaming channel. On behalf of Humans of Telecom, this is your host Anurag Aggarwal signing off for now. Take care.